No rest for the weary. Oh
Although
my
I
God.
would like some rest, though, man. I'm exhausted. I don't think I've ever been so tired after a Breeders' Cup.
We had the calm before the storm. This is the crash after the storm. Hello, everyone. DTL Crew, welcome to Double Trouble Live, the Get Out Bet on Breeders' Cup weekend. Kieran, you're gonna have to do some caffeine shots, do some Jello shots, do something. We got to get back on the horse here, man. We got to make some more money. We got to make some more money. Made some money, lost some money.
We just got to make some money. Get out of the weekend.
I had a really good prop. You know, before the weekend started on Friday, I showed a $100,000 bar, the 100 grand candy bar, and said this is what we're making this weekend. And all I'm left with is an empty wrapper, Kieran. Someone ate up all our money.
Yeah, that was a weekend of almosts. I mean, I think I'd grade myself like a C-, but
you know,
a couple of breaks here and there. You know, if a jockey hadn't have fallen off, you know, who knows what would have changed? You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's how it goes. We all have those stories. You just got to turn the page and move on. But you know, let's not take out our wagering disappointments and damper the weekend. I mean, what performances we saw. Oh my God, Forever Young winning the Breeders' Cup Classic, just outstanding. Seeing so many great performances and so many great races. You know, it was just from a fan standpoint, it was phenomenal. The event was phenomenal. The tournament is always run really well.
Tournament. If you're only going to play in one tournament, that's the tournament you play in, by far. Yeah, they treat the players like rock stars.
Well, we are rock stars, man. At least one of us is.
Yeah.
Let's see. We got some new people here. Prosperity Now. Hello. Still hello. Silly intro. Well, that's the whole show. We're just having fun. Thanks for joining us, Prosperity Now. Terry Marconi, pump up the jam. Pump it up. All right. Scurvy Tooth. Hello, everyone. What a weekend. Absolutely. Dave, and happy Sunday, guys. Thanks for joining us. I know everyone's a little hungover. Even if you didn't drink this weekend, you're hungover after all the dizzying action we had. Well, let's jump right into it. I mean, let's Kieran, let's close out this weekend with a bang. It is the Get Out Bet of the weekend, the $5 late daily double. Not one of the most interesting sequences we've seen since we've started the show, but, you know, we'll look at the probables and see if there's a way for us to make money. Race 8, it is a maiden optional claimer at 6 furlongs for 2-year-old fillies. I thought it was mostly a 2-horse race, but it could also be a 4-horse race. So I'm curious to see how you came up with your selections and what you're doing here.
I thought it was a 4-horse race, like you said, but one of the big scratches in the next leg kind of threw things up in air. This race, I thought a lot of them came out of the same race last out. And I thought number 5, Debbie's Gal, looked pretty dominant in here in paper. JJ for Baltus. They add blinkers. Bullet Works, Raceland Second Power. The last race was longer. I think the cutback today looks perfect for this horse. Led briefly at the 8th pole in that last race. And, when you look at the race replay, if the horse had gotten a little bit more, room earlier, would have looked really dominant. And that's why I jumped on number 2, Mimi's Memory as well with Edwin. Just missed last out going longer. There was no room on the rail. So when it opened up, the horse ran on pretty nicely, I thought. So I ended up just landing on 2 horses here. I could have made excuses for the other horses, but I just thought it looked really good between these two.
Yeah, and based on the way the track was playing yesterday, you kind of needed to be forwardly placed. So, your 2 on the inside has a ton of speed, and the 5 should be, especially with the blinkers on, they could be 1-2 around the track. I'll tell you who I like in a minute, but we're going to be joined by a very special guest today. Loyal DTL crew member, perfect attendance. We wanted to have him on the show. We're going to have other guests on the show as we go forward. But giving some love to Dan H. Dan H, welcome to your debut appearance on
Hey guys,
our first guest.
Our first guest in the studio
can you
show.
hear me okay?
We had what's his name? Arthur, I think, when he was on track with
live
you,
on
Kieran.
track, correct? Yes.
Dan, so Kieran just gave us who he liked in leg 1. He's all about the 2 and the 5. I haven't shown my picks yet, but I am using the 2 and the 5. But I have a couple of others that I'm interested in. But let's go to your plays first, because I know you have limited time. Walk us through how you see this race and how you structured your doubles and why.
Hey guys, can you hear me okay?
Yeah, you're good.
Got me good?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I looked at the 2 and the 5 and the 7, and then I looked at some workout reports. I noticed that I believe it was the 2 was working with him and clearly besting it. So eliminated the 7. Felt like I needed to go a little thin here because my opinion wasn't too convicted across both races today.
Right.
So that's where I went. I really like Debbie's gal, but it seems like everybody else does too.
Yeah.
So it's even money.
Let's see what
let
the
me
will
look at the
pays.
chode here. Oh, even money. Wow.
Yeah.
Even money on the 5. Number 2, Mimi's memory is 5-2. And then the 2 that I'm going to talk about, the 6 and the 7, are both bombs. And they were bombs in the doubles going forward. So no one really gives them much credence. I'm with you, Dan. You looked at both of the Papa Padromo horses, and you thought that the 2 was the better of the bunch. And that's also the one that Kieran landed on.
Right.
So I understand why you guys eliminated the 7. I decided to use the 7 because of the blinkers on angle. I think the horse will be a lot more forward today, sitting in the clear, and is obviously going to be a better price. But I also ended up using the 6, who is a maiden special weight dropper for Michael McCarthy. He's pretty darn good with that move. I know this is a maiden optional claimer, so it's not necessarily like your maiden 32s or maiden 20s, but it's still a significant class drop. And, this horse is in for the 62.5 tag today because she has been running in maiden special weights. So I'm a little spready here, but it looks like you had 2-5, 2-5, and then there was another one that you called out here going forward who will probably be a big surprise if this horse wins today, but at a very good price, I would imagine. Who's number 4?
Yeah, I like the 4. I'm a big fan of Speightstown Offspring. The Broodmare Sire seems to perform well first out. Usually I look at the DRF Broodmare Sire stats for the last 3 years, and
Right.
I think each year it was 16+% rate. So
Okay.
I like the 4. I don't know if I saw any works on it. I gave the 3 a look, but I saw that Proud Citizen typically runs a little bit stronger early if it's shorter, 4.5, 5 furlongs. So
Okay.
I took the 3 out of there, but yeah, I like the 4 at a price. I mean, it's Baltus. I think it's worth an included a price. I was hoping maybe I could strike gold here.
Yeah,
I mean,
well,
I had notes for that one, but I thought Baltus owns both his. He's got a piece on both of his horses, and him and this jockey are 0 for 3. I think this is just an exercise race for this, for the debut horse. I thought if it was the real deal, he might have a better jockey on. I think they're out for a spin, see what happens. And maybe they didn't think the race was going to fill, and that's why they put it in. And now they're just like, you know what, let's just leave him in.
Yeah, I'm kind of with you, Kieran. I wasn't crazy about the 4 either, but Dan makes some good pedigree points. And look, let's face it, it's not like this is the strongest group of 2-year-olds going. What did you have on the 6 and the 7, Kieran? Because I'm going to put my plays up right here. So obviously with you guys, the 2 and 5, that's where most of my action is going to go through. And then I'm coming back with a $20 double using the 6 and the 7. Did you consider those 2, Kieran?
Yep, I have notes here. Top power for the 6 for McCarthy, drops in class, risk for the tag. Number 7, can't say that. Yeah, I'm not betting that jockey for a while. Let's just leave it at that. Blinkers on.
Oh my!
Give your horse a chance to win. That's all I'm going to say. I'm not going to say another word about yesterday. That's it. Give your horse a chance to win. Anyway, onward we go.
It's a long show. I'm sure we can get more words out of you on that.
I thought this horse needs longer. I think this race is just too short, is what I thought for my notes. Aside from the fact that Homie's riding it, I won't even say his name right now.
No, so. but you're right. But that's what I would have thought too. But I think the blinkers on is a significant equipment change. Before we talk about the last, real quick, let me roll through the rest of the comments.
I'm actually going to do a saver bet as well, Frank, for $10 because Irish Corn had scratched. I made my double just 2-5 into the 6, for $100. What I'm going to throw another $20 and I'm doing a $10 double 2-5 with number 7 as well in the
Ricky.
next rearmed John with Ricky riding. Garcia's stats are just off the page. So, and I was just looking, while you guys were talking, the will pays actually aren't too shabby right now. I mean, we're looking at, the chalk over chalk paying like $30, which is not too bad if you're able to hammer it and get something out of this leg.
I did like Ricky. He was my top pick in the next race, the 7 there. Rearm John.
I'm looking at the double probables, and Kieran, you're right. I mean, the 5 to the 6 is $32. I mean, that's pretty good.
I was actually when we had that scratch
combo.
I thought we'd be looking at $19-20 on the favorite double. So this is the robots may end up hammering them, but I thought just so far the odds look pretty good. The pays. We'll see what happens in 10 minutes.
Well, we might as well take a look at what those probables are. Because I know you have limited time, Dan, and I want to make sure we cover everything you have to say. So I'm going to put your picks up first. 2-5 with 6-7, right? So we said the 2-6 is 56, 2-7 is 252, and then the 5-6 is now the favorite combo at 33, and the 5-7 is 162. And who was your third horse, Dan? The 1?
I did like the 1. It's been working okay off this layoff.
So the 2-5 with the 1, that's got to be good, right? 2-1, 151, 5-1, 126. Okay, and then in this leg, let's look at your 4 going forward to the 167. 4-1, 487. 4-6, 255, 4-7, 404. Those are all good. Seeing those numbers, Dan, do you feel like you need to adjust your denominations at all, or are you happy with the way you structured these wagers based on your opinion?
Probably let it ride.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. I mean, I like 7-6 clearly in the next. But one was interesting. Shady Tiger. I looked at the stats. I know, Ciaran, you often like to look at the track trends and then the condition trends for that next race. And looks like it's a 43% gate to wire. Not many long shots hit. Most are 5-1 or less. We're definitely not 10-1 over.
Actually, it's 5-1 plus 34% for the next race.
Oh, okay. Well,
so, but
I guess if you qualify a long shot,
it's only one out of.
I think we've seen
1 out of 21 races. The horse is over 10-1.
Got it. Okay, maybe that's what I saw.
6
out of 21. It was 5-1 to 9-1. So I mean, it's not overly bad.
Dan, I'm with you. If it's not going to be the favorite in the next race, I think the 1 is the second most likely winner. I just decided not to use the 1 because I wanted to be very targeted and play my bets accordingly. But I think the 1 in the next leg absolutely has a shot. The 6 flyover is going to be the favorite, and he's on all of our tickets.
Yeah,
and then you mentioned Kieran. You mentioned Rearm John as your saver. And Dan H also has Rearm John as well. Why don't you guys talk about the 7 horse in the last race? Kieran, I'm going to put up your revised bet that uses Rearm John. So why don't you start, Kieran?
Well, I'm going to say Flyover looks really dominant, I think, in this race. And I thought the only, on paper, Irish Corn who scratched was the one I was going with. Not because of the name, by the way, just because.
Right, right.
Yeah. JJ for Sadler, back on Lasix. Weakened late, last out going down the hill. So, this is a nice little cutback after getting that, speed on the hill. JJ, they almost win a third of the time for Sadler, and they're 4 of the last 9. So when he gets the call to JJ, the horse is live, top power. And I actually, my notes here before all the scratches, I was like 7-2. I was laughing at that. I was like, there'd be no way this horse was not favored, is what I thought. And then even Race Lens has this horse. We talked about this yesterday in the tournament, Frank. Race Lens had this horse winning at 43%. And remember yesterday when we were looking at the Splendora's race, and we were talking about, and they had Splendora at, I think, 32. Remember me remarking, when it's over 30, you got to pay attention on that.
Right.
And sure enough,
great, yeah. But what about the 7? I think everybody there, brothers, on flyover. That horse is going to be 3 to 5, in my opinion. But anyway,
for
number
the 7,
John.
I just said undefeated in 2. Not as fast as the other, but I mean, Garcia's stats are just off the page right now. I mean, I could just roll through a bunch of them here. But I mean,
you don't have to. We saw how bad one of these days ran yesterday, but that's besides the point. Dan H, why do you like Rehum John?
Well, I think with the scratch of the 5, if the 6 doesn't fire out of the gate, I mean, the 7 could get the lead here.
Clears, yeah.
So Ricky, I've been mentioning in the chat, Ricky in an outside post in a turf sprint. I like that. He's doing it here. Yes, I think we're moved in a gate just because of the scratch, but I mean, the 7, Ricky, turf, outside, speed. We know obviously 5 furlongs, speed's important. So okay. I think it's got a shot, and at the price, I hoping he comes home. But
yeah, I mean that horse is definitely going to be a big price. Let's roll through and see who the crew likes in this race. Here's Terry. Yeah, our good friend Larry Dannemiller, who's part of the show and part of Little Red Feather, just had Balnikoff win in the prior race. So congrats to you, LD. Brooklyn John, where'd you go? Baltus has 2 horses. Yeah, looking at the 4. Yeah, he's got the first-time starter and the other one who's super duper obvious. Onofre DTL, hello. Thank you. There you go. Terry's now the president of the Larry Dannemiller fan club. Now that Kieran's in the doghouse. How about that? Yeah, Dave Ann, this is a good point. This is the other one that has a shot to win in the last. Tiger Han, total pro, fires every time. I was just worried about getting a wide stalking trip in here. What did you think, Dan? Kieran's back. But Dan, what did you think about Tiger Han in the last?
I mean, it could come through. I liked others, so I wasn't too keen on Tiger Horn.
I'm with you. Could absolutely win. Kieran's favorite jock is up. We know Peter Miller had a very slow Santa Anita, but he always wins races here at Del Mar. Look, this horse is a total pro. I won't knock the horse. I just felt like I needed to be super targeted because I think Flyover is the nuts in this race. Kieran, did you have anything on number 8?
Yeah, I won't write. I'm going to cross out what my words were here, but I rides for Miller. So Coldwit, I don't like, and will likely come running on late and miss. Like this horse always manages to just miss. So maybe I talked him into the winner circle today, but whatever. I like others better,
Super cool horse to own. We didn't talk about my wager, so let me just run through real quick. I got a $30 double. First of all, I'm planting a flag with Flyover in the last. I think that horse is a standout. This race, while I agree with Dan and Kieran that the 2 and the 5 are very, very strong, I also give the 6 and the 7 a shot. So weighting my bets according to my opinion, right? 2 and the 5 more likely winners, therefore they get more of my money to start the sequence. Then I come back with the 6 and the 7, but I'm all tied to the 6 in the last race, and I'm fine with that. I might have to up my $30 on the 2 here because I want to look at the will pays real quick again, guys. 2-6, 54. That's really good. The 5-6 combo is the favorite.
I mean, I was looking at these pays. If you did one of your cliched all bets, Frank, you're looking at $35, spending $35.
Yeah, I'm actually going
to, which gives you a little bit of spread, which is not too bad,
All right, they're loading into the gate. Any last comments, Dan, before this race goes off?
No, good luck, everybody.
All right, let's put
watch.
Dan's plays up. All right, they're at the gate, everyone. Once they go off, I'm going to mute the mic. Let's get out of here alive. We'll have something to root for.
I'm actually going to do a sucker bet with all but my 2 horses, just $5 into 6 in the next. So spend $25. Worst case scenario, we're covered.
Okay. Yeah, it's just
because, looking at the pays, I thought the pays would have been half what they are, which is kind of shocking.
That scares me a little bit, actually. Maybe the computers just hate that horse in the next leg. We'll see, because I thought that horse I expect that horse to be 4 to 5.
Yeah, that's what I thought as well.
Yeah, I'm really, really shocked. Let me see while they're messing around here. Let me see what Optics has. Dan, we talked about being able to see stuff either in Formulator or in Optics. So, yeah, they have flyover at like 9 to 5 based on the double odds.
I mean, I was even thinking we might see even money on that horse. And Racelands has him at even money.
Yeah, I shocked that.
And this race,
the 8's getting play. The 8's getting play in the last.
And then
that's Tiger Han. Okay.
Interesting here, Frank. Racelands is making this race wide open. So
all right, they're off. Good luck, everyone.
Well, what a difference having a clean trip makes, huh?
Yeah, I mean that horse absolutely crushed. I thought it would have been a lot more competitive than that.
Yeah, I'm shocked at how bad Debbie's Gal ran for Baltus. His other one ended up being the better
jostle. Sorry, Sam. Did you see the little jostle from the 2 jockey early on?
No.
From the temporary rail? It just seemed a little awkward, but he repositioned himself and he got up the rail and got earliest position.
Yeah, I'm just watching the start again on TVG. Oh yeah, the 2 totally. Oh yeah, he spooked at the gap. Totally spooked at the gap. Yeah. Great job by Maldonado to keep that horse together. Wow, yeah, she spooked at the gap and was woof.
Wow, we're getting after it went off, Frank. We're getting $50 for the 2 into the 6, which is rather shocking.
Unbelievable.
I'm that's going to be.
That's how much the best the 2 was.
Yeah.
Because she still crushed them with that weird ducking in. Nobody else even ran except for the 3.
The 3, yeah, 3 first-time starter. Proud citizen. I didn't think you could get six furlongs and held on pretty good.
I think the takeaway out of that race is you don't want to take anybody else going forward because the two almost ducked into the infield and still won for fun.
The last race replay, that horse would have smoked him in the last race. Just watching this race, So that's the only horse I would make a positive note on. And then actually, number 3, the other Baltus, for a debut, that horse ran really well. So I'd probably make a note to watch that one next out for sure.
The 3's Leonard Powell.
You mean the 4?
You mean the 3 or the other
Powell.
Baltus?
Sorry. Yeah, Powell. Sorry.
Yeah,
Okay.
I mean, I don't know.
3 ran even.
Yeah, exactly. The 3 just ran around the track. That's not a stable male horse for me.
I'll make a
That's
note
a
of it.
first start. I mean, Powell's 3% first start, 29. It ran pretty well.
Are they going to rule that the 2 left the course and is not eligible for? Because he actually goes inside the rail, goes inside the temporary rail.
No, it's official, Frank. It's official.
Okay.
But that would cap off our weekend right there.
Right. Disqualified for leaving the course. First time in the history of thoroughbred racing.
And now, so
like
the early
that
betting,
happens in jump racing all the time, but not in thoroughbred racing.
flyover is 4 to 5 on the early money already.
Yeah, I mean we're getting great value. I think
This is fantastic value.
Frank, how's the chat doing? I can't see it, but is everybody?
Let me roll through that again now that we have some time here. We left off with Dave and look at this. Who is the new good-looking guy?
I think they're talking about Nick's new photo. Look at that.
Nick Sievers. I guess the lawn is mowed, the nap is taken, and he's joining us for for the show. Nick, so good having you on. Getting 150 thanks to Dan. Excellent. I don't know what that play was. We were live in something, you guys. Dan, were you paying off?
Maybe he just took my
what is Nick
opinion.
referring to?
I don't know. I haven't won much today. Yesterday was pretty good, but I don't think I tipped him off too much today.
Well, here we go. Did you play a late pick 3 today, Dan?
I didn't. I played the pick 5.
Oh, Dan, I gotta look and see what that paid is.
Yeah, I think it was just like a $36 ticket or something.
Okay.
But I was out. There were some good prices that came through.
See, this is why Texas Terry gets the big bucks and is the executive producer of the show, because all me and Karen want to do is yap about ourselves. She wants to know more about Dan H. You want to give us a little bit of your background, how you got into horses, all that fun stuff. That's a great question, Terry. Thank you so much. Our brains are so fried.
She's the producer, right?
She's the executive producer of the show, yes. Also the president of Kieran's fan club and the brains and the beauty behind this operation here.
So for a while, I lived in Nashville in Tennessee, and my territory for work had me traveling to Kentucky fairly often. And one of the attorneys that we utilized lived near Keeneland. So every chance we got, he wanted to get to Keeneland, and I would happily oblige. So that wasn't my first racetrack I've ever been to, but it definitely kind of was the catalyst to wanting to explore, see some other tracks. I went to one Derby. That was a bit of a blur. It was rainy, wet, and sloppy.
Sounds like most Derbies.
Yeah. And I think I was a bachelor in my 20s.
Who was the winner that year? You remember?
This was before I was even. I'd have to check. That's sad. You could probably name the sloppy ones.
Was it that Todd Pletcher one? What the heck was the name of that horse? I forget. My Derby knowledge is awful. I went once. Giacomo won, and then I realized I don't think I ever need to go back. But that's neither here nor there. But how did you get really hooked on the sport?
Yeah, so just I like the analysis more than anything. Obviously, like to win, but I'm just an average Joe, trying to be an above average Joe, and I think you guys have helped, and I've always chimed in on a lot of the YouTube shows, I really seem to learn from that. But I have started to develop a community through YouTube. I don't have X, so you had to reach through an intermediary just to get a hold of me. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, I've been to
Thank you, Nick, for
Fairgrounds. I've been
facilitating
to
all that.
Kentucky Downs last year, and really, really enjoy the sport. And as much as I can, I try to get to the track. But now I live in Kansas, so Prairie Meadows is the closest one for me, which is 3 hours away. I got to go to the Iowa Derby this year.
Nice.
And you know, I enjoy the analysis. I enjoy the community. I met Nick through a Discord about horse racing. We've shared different strategies. He's very much a contest player. Hopefully he joins your show soon. I like to play some of the smaller tracks and seem to do well there. Some of these bigger tracks, just like for the reasons that you've stated, it's hard to win as a recreational player. But you know, one thing I learned through your show and just talking to others is just to be selective and pick the right sequences, the lower takeout sequences, but also play the promotions. An example of that was even yesterday, if you don't mind me naming a few sports books, but
no, go ahead.
You know,
maybe they'll sponsor the show.
Maybe they'll sponsor. Yeah. Twin Spires had a money back special for the whole Breeders' Cup card, including the non-Breeders' Cup races.
Okay.
So depending on the level of play that you have, if you rank second or third, and there's at least 5 or 8 respectively, you get your money back on win bets. And so I try to really structure my win bets yesterday, and it ended up going pretty well with my strongest opinions and the max play of the strongest opinions, the ones that I thought would at least hit the board. Amwager had a really good promotion.
Yeah.
I gotta start using Amwager. I got money sitting on that account.
Yeah.
You just reminded me. I keep forgetting about that. There's money.
Yeah, but
they have a great.
We don't get the same benefits as everybody else because we live within 100 miles of a racetrack.
Yeah.
California rules are so screwy for us.
No rebates, no nothing.
Yeah. But anyway, go ahead.
Yeah. Dan. Yeah. So all of that applies here. You know, I got my monthly Twin Spires rebate the other day, and that was nice.
Nice.
More bankroll to use, but I think you've got to play the promotions as much as you can and play the lowest takeout races, and of course carryovers. My largest hit was last August. And it was a Gulfstream Pick 6 carryover. They had it today, and I was out in the second leg. But I try to play the advantages. And to go back to Amwager, they had a win bonus, basically taking out the race takeout and adding it back to you as a bonus the next day.
Wow.
So I got basically an 18% bonus on my win bets, and this morning I had $58 more in my account. So I think that's a great lesson to be learned for the recreational players: is don't try to hit every race. Don't try to play every wager. It's something I'm still learning. And the discipline and the bankroll management and the ticket structure. I mean, you can form an opinion pretty easily, but building the ticket and managing your bankroll are the hardest things, especially as a recreational player, when you don't really have the same time that a professional player or much more advanced player might have.
Well, that's all great stuff, and you're a perfect example of the audience for the show, because we're all cut from the same cloth. We all view it as an intellectual exercise. Of course, you know, we want to win money, but we have the opportunity to put our money where our mouth is. So if we have an opinion, we can bet it. We like the dialogue. We like the community. And part of the reason Kieran and I wanted to start this show is because he and I were getting so frustrated with the way guys like us were being treated. The management over the last few years was still treating the smart retail horse player like they were treating the degenerates and the OTBs in the 70s who were looking for coins on the sidewalk to go place a bet.
Yep.
That group is gone. This is a smart young core of horse players coming up, and I'm just so glad that they're finally being recognized, and we're being, you know, we're finally getting a seat at the table, because over the last 5 years, you know, we weren't. We weren't. Yeah. They were picking our pockets clean. So I appreciate you and all your contributions to the show.
Tiger Horn is.
We're not there yet. You know, I will say that. You know, I think the Breeders' Cup they decided not to have that same 2-minute cutoff over the weekend, and
Yeah.
that hurt a couple times. You know, I had a
Agreed.
win bet on the 2 early on the cards, and it was 7-2, and it turned into 8-5 when the gate opened. So I think they've got to make it a little bit more fair to us, to knowing what things are gonna. What the
I
odds
think with
will
all
be when the gate opens.
all the outcry over Keeneland with like Dave Portnoy and Andy Asaro and, you know, Sports Illustrated writing an article and all that stuff. And, you know, what Kieran and I have been doing for the last 3 months, it's a little bit of a sea change starting. I don't know how fast these changes will be implemented, but at least we're being listened to now. And I thought Santa Anita and Del Mar did everything right this year to try to limit our disadvantages. We have access to the win pool.
Definitely.
With the 2-minute cutoff. We have the late pick 3. We have the late double. We still have the early pick 5. You know, if they come up with a couple of more retail friendly bets, like a $1 middle pick 4, 15% takeout, like give us a couple of other things. And, you know, I feel like it could go back to 10 years ago where I could actually do this and make money and not have to just tread water and worry about getting fleeced. So I think this community that we're building and all of the other outside forces hopefully will lead to some kind of positive change. So I thank you. Kieran thanks you. All the contributions. I know Kieran's studying the forum because he's trying to figure out how to make more money in the last race. But
I'm actually starting to sweat a little because this will be the race. The jockey who shall not be named is going to cost me my double here.
It's getting love. I've got to run, guys. I really appreciate your show and the community you're building, and talk to you soon.
We appreciate you, and thanks, Nick, for putting us all together. So take care, Dan. We'll see you. We'll see you next week.
See you later.
Hopefully so. Take care.
Bye. All right, Kieran. So let me look at the will pays first. So right now the $50.50. Then the 8 is paying 70, and then the 1 is paying 90.
I'm not shocked at the 1. You know, just Phil. You know, you never discount his horses. I tossed it, but the 8. You know, Rispoli's won for the last 7 for Miller, and as we know, Miller and Glatt are probably the 2 coldest trainers right now in Southern California. I think it seems like none of their horses are firing, although probably today it will, just to end this week on a sour note for us.
Yeah, well, you know, Peter Miller always does well at Del Mar. He had a horrible Santa Anita, but, you know, maybe he was keeping his powder dry for this meet, which would not surprise me. But I just don't think this horse, in the twilight of his career, drawn outside a younger, up-and-coming 4-year-old who is going to be inside getting a better trip, you know, if that horse beats me, you know, the horse beats me. I think Flyover should be 4 to 5 in here.
Flyover just has blistering speed. And, I mean, look, faded deep stretch down the hill, you know, after flying. So this cutback just, you know, perfect distance, cutback, everything, you know, just looks good.
Yeah, and that was a really good Calbred Stakes race.
No, that was not one of those toss away races. That was a really good race. What a lot of
Mana Rose is a freak. That horse is so good. And Lovesick Blues ran in the Breeders' Cup yesterday.
I know. So I mean, and you know, he was ahead of that horse, you know, till deep stretch when just went poof. I mean, look at the opening splits here on the hill. 20 seconds. The race before, 21 seconds here at Del Mar, going 5.
Well, so, also, Kieran, look at Flyover's race 2 back. Right there with your horse, Arrakis, who we know has stakes potential. Oh, you know what I mean? Like that is a really, really good race 2 back, and was right there in the horse's first try at 5 furlongs. So I mean, look, can Tiger Hahn win? Sure.
Yeah.
Would I rather have Flyover? Absolutely. I'm fine with where I'm at right now.
And I mean, like we said earlier, when you make the call, Sadler makes the call to JJ, they're 4 of the last 9. You know, I mean, how do you argue with stats like that? I mean, he knows when he makes the right. Hey, all right, it's your turn. Here you go. Bring it home for me.
Of course. I mean, the only reason the outside horse is getting hammered is because it's Peter Miller, and this is what he does. And I mean, don't get me wrong, the horse definitely does have good form, likes the track, likes the distance, but if that horse is 3 wide and Flyover is sitting off, the inside horse, I'm gonna bet on Flyover to outfinish the outside horse. So,
I mean, the pool, we're looking at the money going in right now. All the early money hit the 6, and then it's just been the 8's been slowly building money throughout this, betting sequence.
Yeah,
so
it keeps getting
35K to win on 6. And I think on that initial betting when he went even money, it was about 15. So he's been slowly going up, but the 8 now is up to 30K. So they just keep pounding the 8 slowly but surely.
Well, let's see what the CRWs do. I wouldn't be surprised if the CRWs, right before that 2-minute cutoff, made Flyover shorter. Oh, well, here, this is interesting. So I'm looking at the live odds. So Flyover, we said, is favored in the double. So like 8-5, whereas Tiger Han is 3-1. But in the win pool, like you mentioned, Kieran, so I got Flyover like at 7-5, but Tiger Han at 9-5. So you're right. I mean, that horse is taking a lot of money.
And if we look at
double probable.
The pick 6, 6 is looking at 3,000. 8 was 39.91. Not a whole lot of difference. Pick 5, 571 for the 6, 901 for the 8. So
that's different. Yeah.
Yeah. So and then we're looking at the pick 4, 309 for the 6, 358 for the 8.
That's not much difference right there. That's fascinating to me. And they're kind of ignoring the 1 in those pools.
Correct.
So the CRWs really see it as a 2-horse race. And the 6 is not as strong of a favorite as you and I think the 6 should be based on those will pays, right?
But then again, that's why we're getting our $50 when we were going, how are we getting 50, with a chalk into a chalk? So it actually reminds me of that opening day Del Mar show we did. We got 5-2 over 5-2, and we did nice like we were going to today, hopefully.
Because the computers overbet that shipper, that New York shipper, remember? They gave that horse way too much credit. Let's hope they're wrong about Tiger Han the same way they were wrong about that shipper. I mean, we're locked in anyway. I don't see any hedge here for me. I mean, if anything, I would do an exacta box 1-6 and just try to beat this 8. And the money is scary that's coming in on the 8.
Yeah, I think we got it. I'm going to be optimist.
So it's.
I mean, and I also have the 7 as the saver bet. I guess we should see what the 7's paying.
Yeah, sure.
7 is paying 211 times 2, so 422. Not too shabby.
That's funny. This is interesting. Pismo Joe, do you think the plays into the win pool for the 8 are to cover for the multi-race bets? In other words, hedging because they're not alive? I thought of that. I actually thought of that. That is a possibility, but
that's one of those things we always question. Is that what they're actually doing? I don't think so, but unless you're actually part of the crew, you don't know.
I think it's more than that in this case. I think the money here is not hedge money. I think it's legit. Peter Miller. Peter Miller went to got a UPS delivery yesterday or something, and told everybody this horse is going to be hell alive today. And it looks like the horse is live, taking a lot of money now, 9-5. And like I said, Peter Miller was very quiet during Santa Anita, which means he was waiting for his opportunities here at Del Mar. And that's what he does. He lies low, and then he has all of his horses ready on an upper form cycle pattern to pounce. I think Flyover is a better horse, an up-and-coming 4-year-old. Yep. I'm sorry, Karen. I still have the old screen layout from when Dan was in the show. And also, I think Flyover is going to get the better trip.
I thought the trip was going to set up. I mean, one of the we're worried because the money's coming in on the 8th, but I'm feeling pretty damn good that the double's alive into the 6th for $50 too. So I'm feeling good.
Let's see how the double pool did today, Kieran. 161,000.
Okay.
That's pretty good.
Yeah,
day after Breeders' Cup.
Yeah. I mean, most people are still sleeping off the partying last night.
Yeah, or they're on their way home. I know Pete
Yeah.
Fornatel's on a plane right now. A lot of people are on planes right now.
Yep.
All right, let's see. 5 minutes to post. Anyone alive? Anyone have pick threes cooking? Any comments? Get in that chat room there. Let us know who to root for. If it's not the 6, if you like the 8 here, please tell us what your reasoning is. We talked a little bit about the 1. I think the 1 for Rusty Brown has a big shot. I would have liked the horse a little better from an outside post because the horse doesn't have as much speed as some of the other horses, so might get buried. I also didn't like that JJ, stuck with the horse that Kieran and I like, so I downgraded that horse a little bit. But the 1 could absolutely win. And then Kieran, you still give your 7 a shot here? Not really. Well, actually taking some money, 6-1.
Taking a little bit of money. So Frank, the double pool last year was for $2 was 164.
Oh, interesting. So they had the $2 double last year. Okay.
Yep.
Here's our man T, Tyler Frausto, good friend of the show, and our good friend in real life. Thanks for helping out horse players all the time, T. He's one of us, and he's in the industry and has our best interests.
He pulled us a Catoni. He's got all.
Hey, good for him.
Yep.
Let's see what his best payout is. Let's if it's not us, let's hope it's the
let's see. That's some healthy pays, because when I was looking through, I was like, that's actually not bad for.
Yeah, look at Kieran, to your 7, it's $660 in the pick 3.
One is 439, 2
Good.
is 20, 3
Good.
is 461, 4 is 761. You got 133 for the 6, 8, 662, and 167 for the 8.
Yeah, they're all great, considering how the sequence played out. So
yeah, I mean, the pays are a little better than I thought they would have been, especially after the scratch.
Dave Ann, alive in the late pick 3 to the 6 and the 8. Okay, $15 doubles to the 6 and the 7. Okay, nice. So you have multiple chances to win. Scurvy Tooth with the Shoemaker Andy Warhol print, who came up with the tagline for the show. Support the tracks that support you. Love it. He needs the 7 for the double. So a lot of people on the Wise Guy 7 horse. Kieran, that double's paying $211, which is terrific because this horse is taking money in the win pool. So
Yes.
that horse is definitely live.
I mean, how do you discount a horse that has won both races, especially when you're looking at some of these other ones? Ricky, we've talked about it. Garcia, with Ricky, they've won on long shots. Like, this is when Ricky has won for Garcia, long shots, huge ROI. Trainers, 43's won 3 of 7 at the distance. When he's a winner last race, he wins 38% of the time with a price. So, the stats support it. If the 6 does not race the way we think, hopefully it's the 7.
Well, I think that's why Tyler was smart there, because if it's not the 6 or the 8, then it's throw a dart, right? So you'll appreciate this, Kieran, because you talked about this at the top of the show. The 2 in the last race who just won, you said it was a trip horse for you. You
Correct.
even said after this horse crushed that field, you said if the 2 had the same trip today as she did last time, she would have won that race already. So that was a really good single. Based on that trip Mimi's memory had last time. And I joke that I'm not going to stable mail anyone out of that previous race, but for those who don't know what we're talking about here, if you read Tyler's comment, Mimi's memory, the horse, the 2-year-old filly who won race 8, was a stable mail horse for Tyler based on that last race. Kieran also had notes on that horse. If you don't have stable mail, you can get it through the racing form. Kieran, what does Equibase do it?
Yeah, they let you type in your notes. Even on the betting apps, like TVG has a thing, I think, where you can click on it and then they'll send you out an email the day before, I think, and the day of. Hey, a horse you noted is racing today in race 3 at Gulfstream. It's not just that track, wherever it races.
And I love that Tyler brought this up because I always say some of the best handicapping you will ever do is right after the race is run. So both Kieran and Tyler knew Mimi's memory had a bad trip last time, made a note of it. Here she is showing up the day after Breeders' Cup, and she absolutely romps.
And then one of the other things, like when you look at the notes, one thing I really like to look, I mean, you can't look at every horse's race replay, but when they have a little bit of trouble, it's always, just read the notes to see what it is. More times than not, the notes are all BS, but this one was like inside tight weighted game. So it was like, all right, let me just take a quick look at that video. Oh yeah, that horse would have blown away if they hadn't had that issue.
I disagree with you, Kieran. I think the chalk callers in California do a phenomenal job. Elsewhere, I don't really know, but I think you get very useful information from the chalk callers in California. And you also could use optic notes. They're off. Good luck to everybody. I'm going to keep quiet. Let's get it home.
Come on, JJ. Smoke him. Come on, JJ. Up there. Yes! Victory!
Kieran, that was so easy.
Yeah,
I wish it was always that easy.
I gotta say, we were shocked when we were doing the last race thing. That is a great pay for a double right there. $50 for those two horses. That's great.
If you look at my plays, I was just about the 6. That was it. I used 4 horses in the previous leg, single to the 6. That was also Kieran's key horse. Dan H's key horse with the 6. Everybody was about the 6. Kieran, I think we got a little lucky that Tiger Han was in the race. Yeah. I don't know where that money was coming from.
Yeah, that was and then where did that horse end up? Running on late as usual?
Yeah, ran on late and finished 4th.
Yeah, what a shocker. I'm shocked that jockey gave a ride like that. Just shocked.
I think it was more the horse's fault there. Dave N. Sweet. Dave N. Easy. It's easy when you're good. An off-rate Cabato flyover fun. I said flyover should have been 4 to 5 in there. I can't believe it.
I mean, he started off with 4 to 5 too. So what a nice pay.
I mean, he did end up going off at even money, but he should have been lower than that.
Yep.
Really, I mean, too bad that wasn't on the undercard yesterday, huh, Kieran? We would have had that double pretty damn good.
Yes,
AT, congrats. Get out bet of the weekend. Womp, womp. Oh, it's the favorite, but still, dude, you hit it. It's okay.
Hey, that favorite paid great. I mean, we've talked about it many times. If you identify a decent pay for chalky chalk, and unlike our usual, spready spread bets, we were pretty tight on the tickets and we got rewarded. I mean, 10 times 50 is a nice little end of the Breeders' Cup weekend, Sometimes
Absolutely.
you don't have to go out of your way to beat a chalk, Some of them are legit. They do win 30% of the time here in Southern California. Or actually, I think the percentage
there's a difference between, not all chalks are created equal.
Right.
I didn't have, Kieran, you just used 2 horses in the first leg, but you did mention that the 2 was your top pick for sure. I spread a little bit in there, but I also knew that the 2, most of my money had to go through the 2. I was allowed to use 4 horses in that race because I didn't want to use anybody else in the second race. So my key horse was the 6. Kieran's key horse was the 2. You put them together. It's like when peanut butter meets chocolate. You got a Reese's peanut butter cup. So it all worked out today. Dan H, thank you for joining the show, man. Yeah, it was a fair payout. We appreciate all your support, your perfect attendance, everybody who watches the show. If Alex is watching the show, a gentleman I ran into yesterday, Kieran, he said he's a fan of the show. He watches all the time. I go, Alex, are you in the chat? He goes, no, I just watch. I said, well, you better be in the chat today. Where are you, Alex? Show yourself. Let's roll through these comments. Nice,
Frank, you know how you've done the pays before, so let's see. So what Mimi paid $480 into to see, you know, if we got a.
Hold on 1 second, Kieran. I'll tell you, and let me just get it up.
480.
Is it official? Is it already official?
Yeah, 480 into 420.
Okay. All right, ChatGPT, can you calculate a $5 win parlay with horses who paid? What was the first winner?
480 into 420.
480 and what did the double pay?
And the double paid $50.50.
$25.20 for a $5 parlay.
Paid
double.
Yep.
Paid double.
There we go. So we knew right off the get-go that we were getting some really, really good value there, even with the lowest one. Not too bad.
Yeah, and that was a bet you could easily have paid, you know, for couple of $100.
Yep.
Nick Sievers, nicely done. Los Al, yeah, the $1 pick 4. Kieran, let's get Radar Rob and Nate Newby to put a ticket together for us.
Oh, yes. Indeed.
Why is everyone giving Kieran props? I hit 2. In fact, I hit for more. My double was $30. His was $25. Go, very nice, Kieran.
Mine was
DTL.
50. Frank, mine was $50, remember? Because I had a scratch.
No, you did a $25 double right here.
That was the original one, 2-5 at the 6.
No, I took your scratch horse out.
Oh, well, I said I'm using that bet, so I'm spending $120 total. So I did $50.
You said no change, so I just removed the scratched horse.
I meant no change on the amount spent. So,
well, you got to be more clear about that.
Well, we can go back. I'll find the edited clip where I say I'm spending $120 in this race total.
You have full access to the graphics. You can change them. But the point is, we both hit. Nice job, everybody. Dan H, how could have gotten so justified. Jeez. Guy sees the first leg of a Triple Crown and he doesn't remember. But you know what? I don't either. My brain is so fried. Junior, late to the party. Close out my pick 9. You did the place pick all here? Won't be much good way. All right, let's see what the place pick 9 paid. How about that, Kieran? Junior's playing place.
Well, even I'm just looking like the pick 3 with 3 chalks paid $133 for $3. This was a.
You want to do the let's do the parlay on that, Kieran.
All right, because these were very healthy pays, and that's one of the things. Whenever you're doing these doubles, we get to see that stuff, and you get to do the math yourself. And sometimes, if we weren't doing the show and we were actually doing our live betting more, we probably would have hammered this ourselves a little bit more. Would you agree, Frank?
Yeah. Kieran, if this was an undercard contest race yesterday,
yes,
we probably would have had a $500 double straight. Boom.
So we're looking at 620, Frank, on the first leg.
20. Okay, on horses paid 620 for what was it?
480 and 420.
480 and 420 or 430? 420.
420.
Okay. $3 win parlay on horses. You paid 620, 480, and 420. What did it pay, the pick 3?
133.
46.87.
Triple. It's essentially triple it paid. So
Kieran, you know what that tells me? That tells me that the computers like Tiger Hawk.
Yep.
And they were wrong about that. Yep. They overbet Tiger Hawk to the point where the flyer of a double should have been $20, $25, and we got twice of it.
These low takeout doubles, people are complaining about the robots, but we have a little bit of advantage on these low takeout bets. And when they're wrong, we get paid a little bit more than we should. I mean, we got double on the double and triple on the pick 3 just because of
exactly.
That. And there'll be people who say, "Well, it was only $50 double and it was only 133," and you go, "That was 3 chalks back to back and 2 chalks, and it paid that." You're squeezing odds out of your money, getting paid a little bit more.
We've talked about this so many times. there are legitimate chalks and then there are false chalks. These were both legitimate. Based on your comment on Mimi's memory, made a note out of the last race, like a top pick. Doesn't matter that the horse is the favorite. We looked at the probables, and we both thought Flyover was a standout in the last race, right? Correct. So we looked at the probables, and what was the first thing we said? Wow, Chalk is paying $50. Like that, that's phenomenal.
And then we thought the pays were good, where even if we did backup bets, and essentially if you did every horse in the first race into the next, you broke even on the bet. That's a great double setup. You know what I mean? Especially when you don't have a solid opinion in the first leg. I mean, the favorite won, but that's great when you can see, hey, I could have done $5 double. Everyone in the first leg into the favorite in the second would have cost me $35, and I made $50.
Right. If that's, if you want to grind it out like that, that's fine. Like if you're just at the track, whatever, good for you. But also, if this is a situation where Kieran and I felt that we needed to be super aggressive, if we're in a tournament, or, if we're playing bets together and we have some bankroll, you can easily make a $500 double bet there. And the outcome of that double was a very high percentage play. And we were getting way more value than that high percentage play should have been. So, you
won't see it in every race, but it's worth just, even when we're not doing the show, just looking at those doubles and seeing, extracting value out of the information we can see out there live.
Right. That's good advice, Kieran. Like, just because you're watching the show and we go through the exercise here doesn't mean you shouldn't be doing it when you're playing on your own. I mean, this is what you have to do. And when Kieran and I discussed what we wanted out of the show, the reason we wanted to do it live in the moment is because we both said, like, if we do this in the morning, who cares?
Yep. Or Tuesday or Wednesday.
We might have, right.
I'm like, I don't get how guys can handicap a card on a Sunday, on Tuesday.
Kieran, I don't mind that stuff. Like, if you're giving out selections and who you like, that's fine. But this isn't a picking contest. You don't win for picking more winners than someone else. You win by winning more money.
So we're trying to.
Kieran, if we were in this situation and we did the probables, and 2-6 was paying $8, we would have been like, well, let's try to find value somewhere else. How about Correct. The 5 to the 2? That's why we do this show. We do it in the moment because that's what horse players have to do. You have to bet based on as much real-time information as you have.
And if you like a horse in the next leg, or you like a horse in the current leg, always look at the will pays on the pick threes and the doubles to see if it's a legit favor or a legit long shot. And, you'll find some information with very little research. It only take you, a minute to scroll through on those bets when you're trying to, hammer something down.
Kieran's got it exactly right. That's what we do. That's the whole point of the show. We go through the exercise. We look at the will pays. We look at the live win total. See who's getting money. Wow, Tiger Han's getting all this money. Well, what's he in the pick 4 pay? What's he in the pick 3 pay? All this, it informs your decision. And like Kieran said, it doesn't happen every race. And here's the other thing. If you go back a while, maybe like 5 or 6 shows ago, Kieran had a chalk sequence that he absolutely loved. And he bet his full $100 bankroll on that sequence because he was betting based on his opinion. And you guys have watched this show long enough. Like, we joke about being, Kieran's a chalk sucker, Frank's a chalk. Frank uses all blah, blah, blah. We joke about that, and it's all well and good. But I think you guys know us well enough that we're not playing chalks just for the sake of playing chalks. I mean, we are always trying to beat the chalk. So when Kieran comes up with a chalk sequence or likes a chalk in one leg of the race, go to the bank. I mean, it's usually reliable information. Favorites only win 36% of the time, but when Kieran likes a favorite, that favorite probably wins 80% of the time. So You got to handicap the handicapper. You got to use the information that we give you. We both like the chalk sequence. I don't think that's happened once all show.
Nope.
And we got lucky that some people didn't like it, and we got double what the parlay should have paid.
Yeah, we got paid. I mean, this was a sequence I didn't think was going to pay as well as it did, which is, a bonus for us.
All right, Kieran, one last comment from Junior, because I want to read this because this is very nice. The sport wins when guys like you pros spend your time with average Joes like us and teaching new players. Real-time analysis is always more valuable than picking horses a week ahead. Junior, thank you for saying that. I really appreciate it. And Kieran, I think you'll agree with me. We're getting a lot out of this show, too, from our audience. I mean, This is a dialogue. Kieran, you told me the other day, like going into the BC, you're like, if you stop learning or evolving, like,
yep, I was trying to learn something new. If someone says they like looking at something, I'll go, okay, let me see what I can do with that. One thing is not set in stone for everyone. You use different things than I use, different tools than I use. We kind of listen to each other and we try them, and we're always trying to grow our knowledge of this. It's not an easy sport.
we might disagree. We might even get into an argument. No shot. And then his horse wins. Oh, yeah, no shot, Frank, blah, blah, blah. Kieran, you're crazy, whatever. But the point is, even though it might sound like we're antagonistic against each other, we respect each other's opinions so much that, and you guys, we respect your opinion so much that if someone brings up something, we're going to look at it. We're going to look at it, and we're all adults here. We're going to make our own final decision, whether we want to use that info or not. But the fact that the info is being offered is important.
Sometimes we have, blinders on ourselves when we're looking at a race, and mine is usually I'm not betting a jockey or a trainer. But if you guys bring up a good point, I'll go, okay, well, I'll reluctantly use that horse. Dang it.
It's the old twist the arm signal. And Kieran, you want another drink? Oh, twist my arm. Yeah. Oh, Kieran, you gonna use Rispoli? Twist my arm.
Don't say his name. We're not supposed to have said his name on the show. Dang it!
Oh shoot! I might turn into a pumpkin. I'm sorry. Well, anyway, thank you guys for watching. We get as much out of this show as I hope you guys do. Kieran and I had a fun weekend, but a pretty tiring one. I'm probably just gonna go to bed and wake up on Friday, and we'll be back for another show.
Yeah.
Final thoughts, Kieran?
Well, we actually ended Breeders' Cup weekend on a winning note. That's great.
All right, we're not going home in trouble tonight, Kieran.
No, we're going home with some Benjamins in the wallet at least. That's good.
Thanks for watching, everyone. Really appreciate it. We'll see you next week.